So, as was said, I'm Reverend Becky Whitehead. I'm coming to you this morning from Canada, where it is a sultry 7 degrees right now. So be blessed where you are in this moment. We're having a heat trend, though. So welcome to this sacred space of warmth, reflection, and spiritual awakening. So I do want to ask for your grace this morning as I'm completing my recovery from the flu. And I still have a cough from time to time, so I may mute myself if I start coughing, and just bear with me and lift me up for wholeness as we continue on this morning. So as we experience December, a month often filled with decorations and gatherings and the ritual of wrapping gifts, we're invited to step into a deeper metaphor. So what does it mean to wrap up a year of spirituality? What gifts has this year given us? And how do we choose to carry divine love forward? So today we explore the sacred process of completion, celebration, and aligning ourselves with love. This has been an interesting week this past week because we lost a Unity treasure this week. The Reverend Dr. Paul Hasselbeck. He was our modern-day metaphysical guru. And I'd like to share the absolute word that he wrote back on December 15th, 2019. Love. I immerse myself in the awareness of the principle of love. The principle of love is fundamental to each member of the human family. We use the principle of love to bind us together, to create harmony in our world, and to make the decision to think and feel and act lovingly. We consciously live from the love that we are. The feeling of love blossoms and grows between us. And so today, I immerse myself in the awareness of the principle of love, underpinning my consciousness. My heart overflows with a renewed and growing awareness of love. And as I desire to give in service to others, I release old resentments. I forgive those who have hurt me. I forgive myself for the resentments that I've held against them. I smile and I share my joy. I harmonize and unify myself with all people. I immerse myself in the awareness of the principle of love that shapes our highest good. Very appropriate for this morning. He wrote that, like I said, in 2019, and it fits perfectly today. So as we lean into love, we lean into that harmonizing power that brings us together. And so, as we move more into the talk for this morning, I want to talk a little bit about what we mean spiritually when we talk about wrapping it up. When we wrap a gift, we pause, we prepare, and we place intention around something valuable. And in the same way, December invites us to wrap up our year, not with denial and not with hurry, not with judgment, but with reverence. Unity teaches us that life is consciousness. And consciousness expands when we become aware of the blessings, the lessons, and the love that have shaped us. When we wrap up our year spiritually, we acknowledge what we've gained, what we've released, what we learned, and what we became. Each moment, whether it be joyous or challenging, has been a gift woven into our soul's evolution. And so, sometimes we have to shift our vision in order to see our life through that spiritual lens. Sometimes the year feels like a beautifully wrapped package, and sometimes it feels less neat. It feels a little messy with some frayed edges. But every experience offered us a gift, even if it arrived unwrapped, unexpected, or imperfectly delivered. In Unity, we say that all things work together for good because Spirit is present in all things. And when we look back with spiritual vision, We stop labeling experiences good or bad, for in the realm of spirit, there is no such thing as good or bad. That's a human construct. And when we stop labeling it and we begin to ask, what did this bring me? How did this grow me? And what was divine love? Where was that divine love in this experience? Even the moments we resist may have strengthened us. Even the experiences that were painful may have opened our hearts. Even the quiet, unnoticed days may have been the fertile soil for transformation. Spirit is always at work as us, for we are that representation of Spirit walking around this planet we call Earth. And so many times we overlook the gifts. So as we wrap up our year, let's name the gifts we may have overlooked. The gift of resilience. You made it through things that you might have thought would have broken you. You adapted, you evolved, and learned new ways of being. Each day is a new gift. Each day brings the unknown into reality. And so much of the time, it's like, what am I going to do with this? And many times we just need to ask, how can I use this for good? How can I use this to grow and to evolve and to be the truth of who I am here to be? Another gift that we sometimes overlook is the gift of clarity. You know, some relationships may have shifted, some paths may have closed, and some truths may have become clearer. And the whole thing, for years, when I've sat in meetings and served on boards for churches and regions and things like that, my question was, can you help me have a clearer picture of that? Because I wanted to be certain that I had the truth and wasn't making something up. You know, that beautiful story maker within all of us has a tendency to come forward. And as we ask, as we seek clarity, then those stories become real rather than a figment of our creative juices. The gift of compassion. You know, through this past year, I'm sure you've loved, supported, cared, and prayed, forgave, and reached out. Your heart has expanded in ways that you may not see. You know, we're in a time in our country of divisiveness, and it calls for us to grow into a deeper gift of compassion. We may not agree with each other on certain things, but we should agree on the fact that we are all here doing the best that we can do given the circumstances we find ourselves in. And so we lean into that gift of compassion. Excuse me. Then there's that gift of divine guidance, your divine GPS. You know, I'm sure there were moments this year when you didn't know what to do, and something carried you through. Whether you call it intuition or spirit or inner wisdom or grace, you were guided, and you were never alone. None of us are. So many times we have so much chatter going on that we don't recognize that still small voice that guides us, that brings us to where it is for us to be. Just always remember and always be grateful for the fact that we are never alone. We always have that divine essence with us, guiding us and supporting us. So as we celebrate these gifts, you know, celebration is all around us in the month of December. You know, but the true spiritual celebration is that inner acknowledgement. I have grown, I have loved, and I have lived, and I am still becoming. Some dear friends of mine, So Good, which I'm sure you've heard their music, they have a song that says, I ain't done yet. And as long as there's something for me to learn, something for me to support, something for me to love, even self, I ain't done yet, because I am still becoming. You know, celebration is not about perfection. It's about appreciation. It is the moment when we stop, that moment when we say, thank you, life. Thank you, spirit. Thank you, self. You know, this is that deeper wrapping, that ribbon of joy and gratitude around the many gifts of our year. You know, and our affirmation that I'm using this month is I celebrate all the gifts of my life, and I thrive in divine love. Well, appropriate day today as we talk about love. And so let's break this open. I celebrate all the gifts of my life. Not just the shiny ones, not just the easy ones, but all of them. And I thrive in divine love. I didn't say I survive. I didn't say I cope. And I didn't say I just got by. What I said was I thrive. And we know in unity that we have to claim these things. We're told, even Jesus said, as we pray in this manner, but to pray from the energy, to pray as if it has already happened. And so we may be in a moment right now where we don't feel like we're thriving. You know, having just done this journey through the flu, and what I'll have to say is I haven't felt that rough in years, decades. So I didn't feel much like I was thriving. But you know what? I did, because I'm on this side of it. I was thriving because I leaned into the truth of who I am. And as Myrtle Fillmore taught us, I am a divine child of God, and therefore I do not inherit illness. I am perfect and I am whole. And I am claiming that to be true for myself and for each one of you. You know, divine love is the spiritual energy that animates us. Divine love is what animates us, what heals us, what renews us, and draws us toward our highest good. And so when we thrive in divine love, we stop holding ourselves small. We stop and release old stories. We forgive what needs freeing. And we recognize our worth. We open our hearts to new beginnings. And so thrive means I am rooted in love. I am guided by love. I am lifted by love. And I allow love to shape my life. It's not always easy, but we get to continue to practice. We can get to continue to remember who we are, and that we are that essence of divine love, present right here and right now. We are that. And so is the person next to you, behind you, and in front of you. The challenge is as we move into that place of compassion that we're able to see that we're able to recognize that no matter what the outer shell may look like, no matter what the demonstration may be, that individual is pure divine love. They maybe have forgotten for the moment, but as we see them that way, then that helps bring them back to the truth of who they are. And so, wrapping up this year is not just closure, it's actually preparation. If we leave the year feeling incomplete or burdened or cluttered in consciousness, we carry that into the next cycle, the next year. But when we take time to reflect, take time to appreciate and bless, we create spiritual space for something greater. You know, Unity's principle teaches us that we are co-creators with God. So as we complete this year, we are also gently, joyfully, and powerfully opening the door to the next one. And so, I have something for you to do when you get home today. It's a spiritual practice for December. So I invite you to try this. I call it the wrapping up ritual. So take time this month to list 10 gifts from this year. 10, and especially those things that at first appearance, you didn't see it as a gift. But when everything was done and you had that gift of hindsight, you were able to see how it brought good. It brought good to your life, to your experience, to your neighborhood, to your spiritual community. So take time to list 10 of those gifts this year. Write them on little slips of paper. And then wrap them, literally, in a small box or a pouch or even a little gift bag. Put them in there and wrap them. And bless them as you wrap them. Give thanks for them. And then place the wrapped gift somewhere sacred. And just be grateful for it. So what does this do? This act creates spiritual clarity. It honors completion. And it invites in the newness of the coming year. You know, we have the opportunity. We are powerful beyond measure. And as we wrap up 2025, and we wrap everything of 2025 in divine love, we're preparing ourselves for 2026. You know, beloveds, as we wrap up this year, we may do it with tenderness, honesty, gratitude, and joy. We may see our lives as the beautiful unfolding gifts that they are. We may recognize how deeply we are loved. And may we recognize that. And may we step into the coming year open, ready, and thriving. And so we claim that affirmation. I celebrate all the gifts of my life, and I thrive in divine love. And so it is. So I'd like for us to take a few minutes and enjoy a meditation together. I'm going to share a screen here and get us ready. All right. And so if you would, just gently prepare yourself. And take a deep breath. And gently breathe. And begin to settle into the sacred stillness within. I invite you to allow your shoulders to soften, your jaw to release, and your breath to deepen. Feel yourself arriving in this moment. Another breath. In and out. And now imagine that before you is a beautiful gift box. Its wrapping shimmering with colors of gold and white and soft light. The colors of divine presence. This box holds your gifts. The gifts of your year. The blessings. The lessons. The moments of insight, the moments of courage, the moments of love. And now gently open the box. Inside you may see memories, images, feelings, or simply light. Allow yourself to take in these gifts. Take them in without judgment. Take them in with just appreciation. Let each gift radiate with gratitude. And now imagine a warm, radiant light descending around you. The light of divine love. This light is gentle, it's comforting, it's healing, and it wraps around you like a soft, luminous blanket. Feel this love entering your heart, filling your body, expanding your awareness, and strengthening your spirit. And in this light of divine love, please say silently to yourself, I am loved. I am loved. I am guided. I am guided. I am growing. I am growing. I am thriving. I am thriving. Claim it. Move into that power of who you are and claim these gifts. The gift of love, the gift of guidance, the gift of growing, the gift of thriving. And now, gently see your year ahead. A doorway of pure light. You don't need to know what's on the other side. Just simply feel the openness. Feel the possibilities. Feel the support of Spirit carrying you forward. And allow yourself to move into a few moments of silence as you recognize that divine love goes before you. Divine love walks with you. Divine love surrounds you. In the silence. In the silence. Divine love goes before you. Divine love walks with you. Divine love surrounds you. And in this truth, we celebrate all the gifts of our lives, and we thrive in divine love. And take another deep, nourishing breath. And let gratitude rise gently in your heart. And when you're ready, begin to return to this space, feeling refreshed, grounded, and whole. And so it is. Amen. And so I bless you. I thank you for the opportunity to be with you today. And I look forward to when we meet again later on in 2026. Have a happy holiday. Merry Christmas. Be blessed, be peace, and embrace all of the gifts of your todays and tomorrows. Namaste.